a nursing home in Japan. Here, the elderly residents are entertained by robots.
下です。ふるさとを歌って。
ふるさとですね。
But the robots aren't just here for entertainment. Scientists think that they can help increase the residents' brain activity and prevent dementia. This robot has already been introduced in more than 200 nursing homes in Japan. Today, about 8% of the world's population are over 65. By 2060, that number will more than double to 17%. The world's population is aging fast. Japan is well ahead of the curve. Here, people over 65 already make up more than 25% of the population. By 2060, they will be 40%. This is why Japan calls itself a super-aging society. This program looks at Japan's search for cutting-edge solutions to this social challenge. Kanagawa Prefecture has a population of 9.1 million. It's Japan's second most populated region, next to Tokyo. It also has the fastest aging population in the country. Under Japan's national health insurance system, people over 70 pay only 10% of their medical costs. As more and more people qualify for this subsidy, it puts heavy pressure on government budgets. Add to that a critical shortage of nursing home staff, and it's clear that aging is already a serious issue. In Yokohama, a recent conference on healthy aging brought together politicians, scientists, and some of the top companies in Japan's healthcare sector. The conference was convened by Kanagawa Prefecture's governor, Yuji Kuroiwa. He is on the front lines of the aging problem. And he's making healthcare his government's top priority. He desperately needs to find a way to keep medical expenses in check. So he's trying a new strategy.
In this super-aging society, treating disease is not good enough. In Kanagawa, we are starting a new era of curing Mibio to ensure longer, healthy life, instead of just treating diseases.
Mibio is a concept from ancient Asian medicine. It's a state somewhere between health and illness. The delicate stage when the person doesn't quite feel right, even though medical tests don't show any abnormalities. The governor is hoping the Mibio approach will be the key to promoting healthy aging and keeping elderly people out of the healthcare system as long as possible. The governor thinks that if we can identify and treat Mibio early, we can prevent serious illness and reduce medical costs. Governor Kuroiwa has called the Mibio Summit to promote the strategy at home and abroad.
If we can work on curing Mibio, we can reduce medical expenses and at the same time extend the healthy lifespan of elderly people.
More than 300 doctors and other experts have come here from all over the world. This is the first ever international conference on Mibio.
You already said the concept of Mibio, self-managed.
One of the delegates is Dr. Eileen Araujo de Cavallo. She's been working for 15 years on maintaining health in developing countries, where medical infrastructure is poor.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Eileen Araujo de Cavallo. I work for the World Health Organization.
Now she is a senior advisor at the World Health Organization, where she helps shape policy on keeping seniors healthy as long as possible.
In WHO report, we define the goal for health aging. And the goal is to maximize functional ability. And investing in health aging means creating a future that gives older people the freedom to live lives that previous generations could never have imagined.
Dr. Araujo is wondering if the Mibio approach could help maintain the health of elderly people. She met with Japanese experts to learn more about this healthcare strategy, and we followed her journey. The concept of Mibio first turns up in the oldest existing Chinese medical book, written 2,000 years ago. According to the book, someone who has Mibio is on the way to falling ill. The best doctor, the book says, is the one who can identify and cure Mibio. So how did the idea of Mibio come about? And how has it taken root in Japan? These are the questions Dr. Araujo is asking. Her first stop, an onsen, a traditional Japanese hot spring spa that's focusing on treating Mibio. The hot spring's alkaline water helps patients with diabetes, high blood pressure, chronic skin conditions, and other medical problems. The water temperature here is 38 degrees Celsius, slightly lower than an average hot spring.
By spending more time in the bath, you can eliminate metabolic waste products. Here, your body's inner temperature takes longer to rise. Normally, it's only the body's surface that gets warm and not the inner body. But that's why we keep the bath at 38 degrees.
At this onsen, you can have meals that are based on the principles of Asian medicine and get physical exercise in beautiful surroundings on the facility's property. The treatment is supervised by academics who specialize in spa therapy and Asian medicine. Dr. Araujo asked these specialists if Asian medicine is backed up with scientific evidence.
What are the main diseases that you see onsen had a good effect?
Onsen alone cannot treat diseases. That's not possible. I'm a medical doctor like you, and I use conventional medicine. But we consider onsen a supplemental treatment to prevent disease or to keep the condition from getting worse.
In Japan, many kinds of supplemental therapies have been passed down for centuries, from generation to generation. One example is food. In Asian medicine, food is considered to be medicinal. A balanced diet is thought to help prevent disease and maintain health. This onsen serves a menu designed to address Mibyo. Yam dishes help recover from exhaustion and improve digestion. Pumpkin strengthens the immune system and prevents infection. All these dishes are prepared based on the tenets of Asian medicine. The menu was supervised by Dr. Yu Jing, an expert in Chinese medicine and an associate professor at the Yokohama University of Pharmacy.
People of the Orient have been searching for more than 2,000 years to find out which foods are beneficial, which conditions they improve, and how they work to improve the physical constitution. We consciously consume these foods.
When someone is sick, you also give the food for the sickness?
When you feel sick, eat ginger. Ginger is a food, but it's also used in traditional Japanese medicine. Before they take medication, Asians eat ginger and sweat. If the illness gets worse, then we take medication. If it's only a slight cold, we think about foods first.
The third important element of curing Mibyo is exercise. This onsen is in the middle of a dense and beautiful forest, a perfect place to get the physical exercise we need to maintain our health.
When you walk in the woods, your body is showered with the scent of plants. The substance that's making the scent is called phytoncide. It's said to help reduce stress, to lower the blood pressure. We ask our visitors to walk in the woods because it's physically and mentally refreshing.
The environmental conditions, be closer to nature, eating healthy foods, and also the relaxation through hot spring. This is very important for health aging. So here we saw that food is not only for nutrition, but can be used as a treatment. And although not scientifically proved, but in a practical clinic, have seen results on how certain food can enhance your immune system and bring you more, make you more able to fight certain disease. And I think this is what Mibyo concept is about.
At Mibyo Japan, the international conference, some scientists are presenting high-tech solutions. It is Japan after all. The goal is to integrate the traditional knowledge of Asian medicine with cutting-edge technology. Shunji Mitsuyoshi is an engineer who lectures at the University of Tokyo. He is working on tracking Mibyo by monitoring the human voice. His invention is a smartphone app. While the user is talking on the phone, the app analyzes his voice and tracks his mental and emotional state. The aim is to reduce stress before it affects the user's health. This screen shows the caller's mental state during each phone call. Green in the middle is normal. Red on the right indicates that you are in an agitated state. And blue on the left says you're unwell. The app accumulates conversation data over the course of 2 weeks and gives the user a picture of his emotional health. The results are expressed in 5 categories. Heightened emotions mean you are in a manic state. Low energy means you may be depressed. Either way, it means you need a break or a change of pace.
Stepping on a scale makes you aware of your weight and the need to change your diet. When you're told that you are stressed, tired, or unwell, you can try to strike a better balance, stay within your limits, and reduce stress that could cause serious illness. Like this, eventually you can cure Mibio.
Dr. Araujo visited Dr. Mitsuyoshi and asked if Mibio can be scientifically measured.
Have you researched the efficacy of these to measure mood, mental states in other culture, and the difference also between men and women?
現在ヨーロッパでの共同研究でルーマニアの大学とで
We're working with a university in Romania, in Europe,
語であれば多言語で
and testing with Europeans to see if cultural differences influence the result.
どう影響するかっていうのを実際にテストしてます。
There are other things that can be measured, or the potential to expand to other, like cognition, like...
Biofeedback?
Next, we're planning to develop a new app to see how the biofeedback effect controls state of mind.
Biofeedback is a technique that helps people control involuntary bodily functions, things like heart rate, blood pressure, and muscle tension. Biofeedback measures these processes and instantly sends the information back to the patient. The patient is trained in visualization techniques to control these functions, reducing stress and improving well-being. Dr. Mitsuyoshi's goal is to find scientific proof that biofeedback and visualization can reduce stress.
I think the idea of mobile application is a very good idea and can become very useful. There is a lot of studies and evidence that still needs to be done. But in principle, I think it's innovation, and we should invest on that because it seems that has a lot of potential.
Other scientists are looking for ways to combine the Mibio approach with Western medicine. For example, how do you monitor the conditions in your gut? How about a toilet with a sensor that analyzes your gas? And here's a device that uses microwaves to perform cardiograms. That makes checking the functioning of your own heart easy. There's no need to hook yourself up to complicated instruments. Both these devices are based on Western medical testing techniques. They can track subtle changes in the human body and identify Mibio.
さらにこれで入居者の方と3社でも話ができます。
Another Western technique to diagnose Mibio is the blood test. It's been developed in the laboratory of a food corporation, and it focuses on the concentration of amino acids in the blood.
We actually did a lot of experiments looking at different disease states and so on, and found that indeed amino acids were changing depending on the disease.
This diagram shows the concentration of 20 amino acids in the blood. The black circle shows the levels in a healthy person. The blue line shows the pattern in a person with visceral obesity, excessive fat deposits in the midsection. So measuring amino acids can help diagnose disease. And it turns out not only active disease. Some people have the amino acid pattern for visceral obesity, but don't have excessive waist size or body mass index.
We found was rather surprising that, in fact, we could predict the risk of getting metabolic disease 4 years on, even though you didn't have the disease at that time. So this would, to us, this means that this is visualizing MEBO, basically. My sort of ideal for the amino index is that, one measurement of blood or a drop of blood could give you data on 50 or maybe 100 different diseases, for instance.
Soon there will be amino acid tests to predict high blood pressure, elevated levels of fat in the blood, diabetes, fatty liver, and metabolic syndrome. Kanagawa Prefecture is putting money behind these initiatives. About $3 million in 2014 and $10 million in 2015. The prefecture's governor, Yuji Kuroiwa, is a strong supporter of the MEBO approach. Dr. Araujo asked him to explain his interest in this technique.
How do you believe that MEBO can help society in Japan?
In Japan, there are more than 60,000 people who are over 100 years old. Soon, the time will come when many more people will live to be over 100. If they become bedridden, it's not good for them. But if you can take care of yourself and be active, you can enjoy life. Even if you have a medical condition, if you can stay relatively healthy and live to be 100, we all can be happy. We are aiming to build a society where elderly people can enjoy their lives.
Dr. Araujo thinks the keys to healthy aging are cognition, muscle, and mind. But when you get to the age of 70 or 80, physical deterioration is unavoidable. If you don't exercise and move your body, the probability of developing dementia grows higher and higher. How does the MEBO approach help solve these problems? Dr. Araujo visited a rehabilitation facility to find out. This is a robot suit for a person paralyzed below the waist. When the patient tries to move his legs, the suit receives the signals from the brain through the undamaged part of the spinal cord, and that triggers the robot legs to move. So even if you don't have a leg of your own, you can move your robotic legs just by using your mind. Elderly people with weakened muscles will be able to use this robot suit to walk, which means they will no longer be confined to bed. This robot suit was developed by Professor Yoshiyuki Sankai of the University of Tsukuba.
For example, usually people who develop frailty, sarcopenia, also because of the lack of movement and the social isolation, they develop cognitive problems. Have you studied the positive cognitive effects associated with the improvement in physical function?
Yes, so we have some experiences for such kind of bad situations, persons. And for example, now we are standing here, and if we wish to walk and move, then our eyes firstly moves, and head moves, and in the brains, vision areas and judging areas and simultaneously activate in order to move our body. Then we can establish such kind of suitable biofeedbacks. So in order to keep our brain active, yes.
The robot suit can also help caregivers. This is a nursing care support robot. Healthcare workers often suffer lower back strains and even serious injuries from lifting patients or heavy objects. The robot can reduce the burden on the lower back by 30%. This is another Mibio concept. As the saying goes, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
はい、座ります。大丈夫ですか？頑張ってくださいね。
You also say that it can be applied for old elderly people
Yeah.
with mobility impairment.
Yeah.
So, for example, that can be used at home. Let's say old lady who's take care of the husband that's in bed at home.
Yeah, that one is the one possibility. When we are in the home, okay, day by day, our health conditions gradually increases and or keep the health. So that one is one of the good way to reduce the public cost, I think.
At the Mibio Summit in Kanagawa, there were 14 hours of discussion over 2 days to create a new model for a super-aging society. The Mibio model was applied to a wide range of topics: personal health management, the use of cutting-edge technologies, and the transformation of the healthcare administrative system. All these approaches are needed to cope with an aging population.
I like the concept of Mibio because the issue of giving responsibility back to the clients, the issue of empowerment. So people are responsible to monitor their health and they should be aware of their Mibio, so they take responsibilities about their own life. This is also a very powerful aspect of the concept.
The Mibio approach was born 2,000 years ago. Today, it continues to evolve as scientists find ways to integrate it with the latest technology. Treating Mibio, the condition midway between good health and illness, is expected to help seniors live healthy lives longer.
So what I learned, the clue I see here is that having health, nutrition, exercise, a healthy life can make you delay as much as possible the disability that comes with older age. However, there are challenges. There are some of the technology that needs more evidence, need more research. Overall, is, as I said, very innovative strategy and very important. It will be a very important contribution for health aging at the global level.
The modern use of Mibio is still in its infancy. But in Japan, with its aging population, it's evolving quickly as the world learns to deal with the surging numbers of elderly. Countries everywhere are watching this Japanese experiment.